Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of Journalism Society's interview series. Today with us, Mr. Vikram Singh Rajput, Training and Placement Officer at MITS Gwalior. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us time for this, from a busy schedule for the interview.
Thank you.
Sir, starting with placement cell and what there is a very inclination towards students and placement cell. So can you tell us more about what is placement cell and how it functions?
So definitely training and placement cell more strive towards placements definitely, and we definitely support for training and internship part as well to connect with the more and more industries. So we take care of overall activities whatever related to training, related to industries, related to corporate world, and then it comes to placements. Definitely any kind of placements, either it is on campus, off campus, or outside.
Can you, sir, give us a walkthrough of a company calling to the how that it functions totally?
So we appoint some student coordinators and we do appoint some research team as well here in MITS. And so we start with the research team and they do research about the industries, what are the updated industries, those who are hiring, and they research about the companies, about the HRs present there, about their profiles, where are the requirements, where are the possibilities of recruiting students. So our research team prepare database of alumni and companies as well, and then they give that database to our another team, which is our communicating team. They communicate with the companies, and we as a faculty, as a training and placement officer, also communicate with the companies, their HR people. We communicate with our alumni and decision makers in companies. So we do communicate, and apart from that we keep on searching the off campuses, pool campuses, which we used to conduct at the end of session, at the end of final year. So students, very few students, those who are not placed somewhere, so they can go through off campuses, pool campuses like this.
So, how does one student should prepare for placements, as the placements are the most crucial part of a college ranking as well, and a student for himself. So, how students prepare themselves, how training and placement helps them for preparing for the placements.
So preparing for the placements, it's nothing specific. Like students will have to particularly work for like 1.5 month or 1 month or 15 days before coming the placements, right? It's an ongoing activities because students will have to prepare by their own. The things which they are learning in their all the 4 years, what they have learned, like whatever the soft skills part they have learned in their whole life, so that will help at the time of interview. Apart from that technical skills, or you would say, we can say basic skills in their core domain, they can be prepared with the same, right? And definitely training and placement shall provide some trainings for the soft skills part and sometimes for technical skills parts as well, and we do arrange some workshops so that students can get to know about the interview processes and selection process of companies. So we do arrange sometimes 2 months training and sometimes 15 days workshop, sometimes 1 month training for all the batches.
So, sir, how one student can get informed about the trainings happening, and is there any medium which students should join beforehand so that they can get updated about training and placements activities which are going on?
Yeah, definitely. If we are conducting any activities, so we are conducting for the students only. So we definitely send the information to all of the students, either through messages, through notice boards, and we do shoot mails as well. We have all the email IDs, so we do connect with the students, of course.
Okay. Sir, there is a lot of thinking about that the internships are being made compulsory by AICTC, and college is also providing internships. So, sir, how does internship helps a student in gaining up placements?
So definitely internships are getting conducted in industries, right? So if any students is having a flair of industry where they are going to work after their placement, so definitely in interviews that can be checked where the students has been worked for at least for 1 month or 2 months. At least the student would have an idea of flair of the industry, and how the working conditions are present there and how other employees are working. So at least they observe once they used to go in internship, right? And if they are going in their technical domain companies, So definitely they observe like whatever they have learned in their books, and how the machines are working in the companies or at shop floor, so they can easily relate, right? So in the same way, whenever companies are coming, so they do ask about your internship part, and if you are able to explain very well in interviews about the internship and whatever you have learned in internship part, so definitely it's a positive point. So definitely if you are having some good internship profile, or whatever you have learned in at the time of internship, which is a very very positive point for placements, because you are coming with at least 2 months experience, you would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like we can count internship as a work experience.
As a work experience, not exactly as a work experience, but yeah, definitely you have you have knowledge of working culture, and you have knowledge of working style, and how will have to deal with the companies and the other workers, so at least they have a flair.
Okay.
Right.
So, sir, the most troublesome problem when it comes to maintaining both technical and academics. So, what are the sir academic criteria that one should maintain, and side by side maintain their technical skills also?
So if we'll talk about the technical and academics, that is correlated definitely, because in engineering academics it is all technical,
Yes.
right? So whatever they are learning, it is definitely correlated. So criteria, if we'll talk about, so as per the eligibility criteria, it's a little different, but at least all the students should have minimum 60% throughout, either it is 10th or 12th, or in graduation as well. Most of the companies are 60% throughout, and some companies are 6.5 CGP or 65%, and very few companies ask for 70%. So they are not looking for only toppers, right? They are looking for an average student, those who have some basic knowledge of their academics and technical skills as well.
Okay.
They are not looking for all the experts. No.
Sir, there is lot of questions been asked from our Instagram page by the students. Sir, what are the troubles or challenges that TNP self faces when by calling the core companies
Yeah.
for the core positions?
So if we talk about only core companies, so it's a little different scenario if we talk about the placements in core companies, right? And the problems we are facing, or almost all the institutions are facing, or the whole industry is facing, why the requirements are less as compared to IT domain or mass recruiting companies, because companies are working all on automation, right? And the machine learning and robotics is keep on coming. It is on everyone's minds, right? So but before that as well, like all the core companies are going towards automation. So when one engineer is required, but one engineer, they required 100 shop floor workers or diploma holders, but as an engineer they required only one, right? And if you talk about the scenario of industry, so it really affects at the placements in core domain, and industries which are nearby our institute or our city, it also affects. What is the condition of nearby industries in the core domain, in nearby industries? Because most of the industries are hiring if we talk about core domain, most of the industries are hiring from the nearby institutions and the nearby cities only. They don't want to travel far, because definitely there are some challenges as well, there are some limitations as well, there are some outcomes as well after hiring. So most of the industries do hire nearby institutions, nearby colleges, or nearby cities. So these are few challenges in the core domain. So this is the little different scenario. And if they are coming on campus as well, if any one company is coming, if we'll compare to mass companies, so any mechanical industry is coming or manufacturing industry is coming, so they do hire only 4 or 5 students sometimes, or sometimes 15 to 20 students, but not more than that. And if you talk about the IT industry, they are hiring more than 100 or 200 or sometimes 300. So you can see the direct ratio,
Yes.
which is very different. So, and why they are doing so, there are many limitations, there are many challenges, there are many criterias, there are many policies were different to different industries. So that's why.
Okay. So, sir, as you said about core companies, so what are the hottest market that one student should prepare beforehand, so that he can get a good package of in placements, and as well excel with than other students from apart from other institute as well. So to compete with other students, one should have at least skills of different.
See, it's if any engineering student is preparing, so definitely he or she will work with his or her domain, right? If she is a biotech engineer or he's a chemical engineer or a mechanical engineer, so definitely they will work for their mechanical domain or biotech domain first, right? It's nothing like that. Yeah, definitely there are new technologies in each and every domain nowadays. If you talk about the branches, so all the branches are on hike, right? On the bat is like uh, those who are having well versed with the new technologies and those who are updated in their technical terms, right? So if you talk about what students should have prepared, what is the hottest market, so opportunities are there in all the markets, but you can say, yeah, sometimes IT market is on hike, sometimes automobile sector is on hike, sometimes automobile sector is growing, sometimes automobile sector is going down. So it all depends on that. And if you talk about the current technology, so there are many technologies like machine learning, robotics, data science, and if you talk about the IT domain skills, they were working on Java coding skills and all, and new technologies are coming like Python. Students started working. Once they started working on Python, so blockchain came up, right? So keep the technologies are keeping on change, right? So students will have to, they can't definitely work on all the skill set, all the technologies they can't learn, but yeah, so companies are looking for a positive mindset of those who can learn in a better way. Definitely they will make them learn. If they are working on Java today, right, or maybe they are working on some designing software, if we'll talk about the mechanical students like CAD CAM, CATIA or ProE, whatever it is. So once a new technology comes up in market, so students should easily grasp either in 1 month or 2 months if companies are making them learn. So students should have positive attitude. They should have basic knowledge of their domain and basic knowledge of all the concepts in their domain. So this is what companies are looking for. Yeah, you are expertise in one or two technologies in your domain, that will work, but you should have positive learning attitude. If any technology will come up after 5 years and if your company is going to apply this new technology, so you should be easily grasp that technology. And when you can easily grasp that technology, once you have all the basic knowledge of all related technologies, so like this students can prepare.
Sir, what are the current scenario of training and placement cell at our college, and what are the future plans as of now from your side?
So if you will talk about, we divide our training and placement cell in two domains. One is IT sector, which comprises of CSIT branch, electronics ET branch, MCA and AMTech in all these branches. And one is core sector, we call it core sector also, or non-CSIT core sector. So which comprises of the remaining branches like mechanical, electrical, civil, chemical and biotech as well. So if we talk about IT sector, we are all well versed with the IT companies and IT companies placements. We propose 100% placements in IT domain, right? Because we have a lot of companies, we are connected with many companies, with some good level companies as well. We keep on connecting with the higher packages companies, so we are keep on improving our higher CTC side in IT domain sector. And if we talk about core sector domain, frankly speaking, we are facing little challenge while calling all the core companies here and to make our students 100% place. But the current scenario is like we are able to place at least 55% or approx to 60% students in the core companies.
Okay,
But frankly speaking, again, not more than that, right? So we are facing challenges while calling core companies because there are, as I told you earlier, there are many criteria with the core companies. Like they do check nearby colleges, they do check their feasibility while taking the interviews and their requirements, as well as all the manufacturing side or core domain side companies are going towards automation, and they are already at the automation only. So they have very few number of requirements. And if any company is hiring 3 to 4 students, and on the other side mass recruiting company is hiring 400 or 500 students, so we can see the difference. So these are the challenges we face while calling the companies and while placing the students. But if we'll talk about the future plans, so our focus would be more towards core sector only this year. And because we are well connected with the IT companies and their people, those who are willing to come here, and it's on students only. Like if we are able to call IT companies, now it's on students how much they are able to crack the selection process and how much they are prepared with their basic skills. And basic skills we'll talk about, if we'll talk about basic skills, so it comes with technical and soft skills as well. Yeah.
So a lot of students have curiosity by knowing what are the placement statistics of. We have updated the sessions on website we have from till 2018. So what was the scenario this year and how the students performed?
So you're talking about the
Placement statistics this
coming
year.
scenario
No, sir,
or
this year.
2019?
Yes, sir.
So as I told you, we are well versed with the IT sector. We have a lot of companies. Sometimes at the end we say no to companies because our students are not available. So there are very few remaining students, those who don't want to. I want to send a message to students, those who don't want to come for the placements at the end of season. But as we inform them, like placement scene scenario used to start in the starting of fourth year and it ends till your fourth year once you go out of the city. So we used to get the companies, a lot of IT companies, we whenever we approach, sometimes they say no, sometimes they say yes. So a lot of companies are there. So I would say around 70% students are already placed in IT and CSIT EC students, but 30% are remaining, so we are getting companies for them. So we are facing the challenges from student side about their preparation, right, about their soft skills part. They don't have very basic knowledge of the core domain subjects or whatever the companies are asking. So if we are calling companies, they are getting rejected, and it is the scenario like we are calling companies and students are not getting selected. Even a single student are not getting selected, right? So this is the scenario. And if you talk about the core companies, still we are struggling and we are calling the core companies, although their students are about to go, season is about to end, but we are calling companies. So we can say approx 50% students we would be able to place in core domain.
Okay, sir. So, so that's a very good message which you have given to the students. So, we have multi-department in our colleges. We have MCA, we have bachelors. Sir, a lot of students asked us the question about the architecture department, which is going to training and placement. So, how does
No, so it is not a student. It should not be a student's question because architecture department, it's a different entity of our institute. So we take it as a different entity. So this training and placement is only for engineering students, and for architecture department, their students and their HODs only do work for the training and placement.